These three forgotten ingredients in a Roman wall keep it 30 degrees cooler than concrete for 2000 years. Zero electricity involved. And ingredient number 1 is sitting in your own backyard right now. I'll show you why. Point a thermal camera at a 2000-year-old Roman wall at midday. The reading comes back 108 degrees. Now point the same camera at the modern concrete building across the street. 138, sometimes 140. That is a 30-degree gap. No paint, no coating, no power, no sensors. Just a wall standing for millennia. And it is still doing its job better than anything we pour today. So why aren't we using it? The industry buried this recipe, and in the next few minutes I am going to show you exactly why. Let me set the scene. Your air conditioning bill has doubled in 5 summers. The grid strains every single July. Cities have turned into ovens because we wrapped them in grey concrete and black asphalt across every district. Walk barefoot across a parking lot in August and you understand the problem instantly. It burns your feet immediately. Modern buildings look sharp for maybe 20 years. They start cracking at 30. Most are demolished by year 50. We call this progress. We call this modern engineering. Meanwhile, the Romans built walls, harbors, domes, and aqueducts, structures that have outlived every empire that came after them. No rebar, no steel, no electricity, no HVAC systems. Here is the part that should make every engineer uncomfortable. Those Roman walls stay cool on hottest days, without a single watt of power. We pay hundreds of dollars a month for what the Romans got free. One clever mix of dirt and water gave the Romans this superpower. One ingredient changes everything for you. You can find that ingredient on 6 continents. Subscribe to see the full recipe in my next video. The recipe has a name, Opus Cementitium, Roman concrete. And the ingredients are embarrassingly simple. Just 4 things. Volcanic ash, slaked lime, seawater, broken stone. Mix it, pack it, wait. That is the whole ancient formula. Something strange happens when those 4 meet. The wall does not just harden, it actually heals its own cracks. It cools itself in summer. It gets stronger every century. It becomes, in a very real sense, alive. So why did we forget it? One simple reason. In the 1800s, someone invented cheap Portland cement. It cured in a month instead of a year. Faster meant cheaper. Cheaper meant profitable. Nobody bothered asking. Nobody asked if faster also meant weaker, or if Roman walls quietly did something modern concrete could not. That question sat unanswered for 150 years. Then labs at MIT finally cracked it. The Romans were not primitive, they were ahead of us. And the cooling physics is absurdly, beautifully simple. Here is what actually happens inside a Roman wall on a hot day. The sun beats down hard. A modern concrete wall soaks that heat up in about 2 hours and starts radiating it straight inward. By 4 in the afternoon, the inside of your building becomes a furnace. But a Roman wall is different. First, the surface is a pale, chalky lime, almost white. That high albedo bounces sunlight straight back. About half the light returns to the sky before it ever becomes heat inside the ancient stone wall. Second, the wall is thick and packed with volcanic ash. That ash, called pozzolana, hides a secret. It is riddled with microscopic pores, millions of them. Those pores are full of cool nighttime moisture. As the sun hits the outer layer, that trapped water begins to evaporate deep inside the stone. And evaporation, as anyone who has ever stepped out of a pool knows, is cold. Very cold indeed. The wall is running a passive air conditioner inside itself. No fan, no compressor, no electricity needed, just water changing phase. At night, the wall exhales the last of its moisture and cools down completely. It drinks in fresh humidity from the air. By morning, it is loaded and ready for the day. It never stops. It has never stopped. For 2000 years, this cycle has quietly repeated itself. But here is the twist that modern engineers completely missed, a detail hiding in plain sight all along. Modern concrete cures in 28 days. That is the industry standard. After that, chemically speaking, it is dead. It stops changing. It sits there waiting to crack. Roman concrete does the opposite, reacting for centuries. When water seeps into a hairline crack, it reactivates the line clasts, tiny lumps of unreacted lime. Roman builders mixed these lime clasts in on purpose, though scientists only figured that out in 2023. Those clasts dissolve, flow into the crack, and recrystallize. The crack literally seals itself, no repair needed. Meanwhile, deep inside the wall, aluminous tobermorite crystals grow. Long, plate-like minerals locking the structure tighter every decade. The wall does not decay, it matures. It becomes stronger at year 500 than at year 50. Now imagine you're a cement executive. You sell a product that must be replaced every 50 years. Your entire business model is planned obsolescence dressed up as infrastructure. Would you fund a 2000-year competitor? Of course not. You would bury it. And that is exactly what happened. Now look at the brutal numbers. Let us do the math fast. Surface temperature at noon in July. Modern concrete hits 140 degrees. Roman mix, 108 degrees. 32 degrees cooler with zero power. Now step inside a Roman structure. It holds 68 to 72 degrees indoors through a Mediterranean summer. No air conditioning, delivered free by the wall. Carbon site is worse. Portland cement alone emits 8% of all human CO2, more than every airplane combined. Roman mix cuts that by 60% because it never gets blasted at 2700 degrees. Lifespan? Modern concrete, 50 years on a good day. Roman concrete, 2000 plus and still getting stronger. Add it all up, materials, labor, replacement, demolition, Roman mix is roughly 20 times cheaper per century of use. 20 times cheaper! And somehow we are still pouring the expensive stuff instead of the ancient formula. Somebody rebuilt this recipe in a modern lab. What their thermal camera filmed should have been headline news everywhere. A small group of engineers in southern Italy ran a side-by-side experiment. Two identical walls, same dimensions, same orientation. One made of standard Portland concrete block. The other cast from a modern reconstruction of opus cementitium. Volcanic ash from the Bay of Naples, slaked lime, seawater, crushed tough aggregate. Both walls cured for 6 months. Then they waited for a heat wave. Ambient air hit 98 degrees and they aimed thermal cameras at both walls. The Portland block glowed white hot at 140 degrees. The Roman block sat calm at 108. Inside the little Roman test room, air stayed at 71 degrees. No fan, no vent, no power source. Inside the Portland room, it climbed past 92 degrees. Same sun, same air, same size. Only the recipe differed. No coatings, no solar shading, no smart glass. No maintenance. Just geometry, thermal mass, and ancient chemistry. Chemistry doing what it has done since Caesar was a boy. The savings over a lifetime are truly staggering. Now let us talk money, because low-tech only wins when the math wins. Here are the real numbers. A typical American household spends between $1,200 and $2,200 a year on cooling alone. In the hottest states, even more. If your walls do half the air conditioner's work completely passively, your compressor runs 40 to 60% less. That is $800 to $1,400 a year saved. Straight back into your pocket, every year, forever. A pozzolanic mix costs 15 to 20% more upfront. That premium exists only because the supply chain stays small and specialized, not because the material is expensive. So the wall pays for itself in 6 to 9 years. After that, it is pure free money forever. And this wall never needs replacing. It actually gets stronger with age. Your grandchildren inherit the exact same house. Compare that to modern stucco and block. New roof at year 20, repaint at 15, full facade repair at 40. Free cooling forever from pure geometry alone. So tell me, why isn't every single builder pouring this today? Follow the money. The global cement industry moves $400 billion a year, built on one assumption. Concrete is something you buy, pour, and eventually replace. A wall that lasts 2,000 years is a threat. Every major cement producer has known the Roman formula for decades. The chemistry has been public since the 70s. But building codes are written around Portland cement because that's what code writers trained on, funded by industry. Try permitting a Roman mix wall in most cities. 2 years fighting engineers who cannot classify it on forms. And the volcanic ash itself? Abundant. It sits under half the planet, ready to use, waiting for permission. But every quarry, every kiln, every truck route worldwide is already optimized for limestone and coal, not this. Switching means rebuilding the entire supply chain, and the people who own it also write the standards. Meanwhile, the papers pile up. MIT 2017, MIT again 2023. Berkeley, Utah, Oxford, industry ignores them. You never hear about them, and every summer your electric bill climbs again while these solutions stay buried. Before I show you how to test this recipe on your kitchen table for $20, one last thing. Want to test this yourself? No lab required. Just a bucket, hydrated lime from any hardware store, and cheap volcanic ash. Add coarse sand. Mix it, pack it into a form, cure slowly under damp cloth for 1 full month. Simple but powerful. You will have a small block of the exact same material that built the Pantheon 2000 years ago. Point a thermal gun at it in July. Watch the numbers stay low. Watch a concrete block cook next to it. And ask yourself the same question I have been asking for 30 years. Why aren't we using it? The answer is not technology. It has been solved since the year 100 BC. The answer is not cost. The material is cheaper. The answer is not durability either. It outlives every other option by a factor of 20. The answer is that a wall that lasts forever simply cannot ever be sold twice to the same customer. An industry built on selling the same wall to your grandchildren cannot survive a product that already outlived their ancestors. That is the whole story. 2,000 years of proof, quietly buried under just 100 years of clever marketing. If low-tech solutions interest you, forgotten engineering that quietly beats billion-dollar systems, subscribe to this channel now. Next video, we break down the Roman aqueduct and how the same principles can deliver free water to a modern home. Share this with anyone building a house, planning a renovation, or just tired of paying too much for electricity. The old ways were not primitive, they were patient, and patience is the one thing the modern industry cannot sell you. See you in the next one. Subscribe now so you never miss another